Monday, June 6th, 1977. Led Zeppelin is one day away from performing a 6-night series at Madison Square Garden. Excited East Coast fans can't wait to watch their heroes return to the Big Apple. Down in Florida, though, there's only bad news for Zeppelin fans. Tampa's Mayor William Poe bans the group from ever performing in the city again. The band's show on Friday was a disaster with crazy riots of 3,000 individuals, which challenged the police abilities to contain angry and disappointed fans. They gave them no quarter. It was Tampa's last stand. Mayor Poe said if the band was to play again, they would need to bring their own security staff to deal with the huge crowds. What went wrong at this show? Why wasn't the show rescheduled? We'll take a look at how this concert came to be, the controversy surrounding its terms and conditions, plus a musical analysis of a very promising show that captured the hearts of 70,000 fans. An evening where the Rain Song was not performed, but felt. It seems cities with consonants T, M, and P were synonymous of troubled Zeppelin performances. Welcome to Friday Night Thunder. This is the making of Tampa, 1977.
The promoters trying to stage the concert again tonight. Promoters are trying to set a date in the future for the first rock band off the stage. A crowd of 70,000 started running wild even after they were told their tickets were still good and would be honored trying to likely force the rock band off the stage. A crowd of 70,000 started running wild even after they were told their tickets were still good.
The story begins on March 31st, 1977, at Greensboro, North Carolina, with Led Zeppelin's 26th show of their North American tour. The sold-out performance elevated the spirits as the band enjoyed 2 days off before heading out to Florida on Friday. The June 3rd date was promoted along April and May shows on printed media ads. Tampa was more than just a concert, though. It was a special city in the band's history. Led Zeppelin broke the Beatles' attendance record at Tampa Stadium back in 1973, and you can check my retrospective here on the channel. Led Zeppelin was going to return on September 1st, 1975, but the tour got cancelled because of Robert's car accident. Florida wanted to experience the hits from Physical Graffiti and Presence live on stage. The 4 years and 29 days waiting time would be worth, or so they thought. A newspaper article on Led Zeppelin's upcoming show was published on April 15, 1977. The author advised fans to get in line early, considering the fact that tickets for the Pontiac Silverdome and all 4 nights in Chicago were sold out in one day. Tampa Stadium tickets went on sale at 10 a.m. on Sunday, April 17th. The 8 releases on Zeppelin's discography created huge waves of hype and expectations. Florida was to witness live debuts of Kashmir, Trample Underfoot, and Achilles' Last Stand. It was a very different band from the one that broke the Beatles record. This was an epic tour, and nobody should miss it. Tampa Stadium saw important renovations done to the venue in 1974 and 1975, expanding the seating space. Thus total capacity grew from 46,500 fans all the way up to 71,950. This created the famous hat shape that led to the Big Sombrero nickname. New teams moved their sports business to the stadium, such as the Tampa Bay Rowdies in 75 and Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 76. Now let's talk about concerts. There was a lot of music played since 1973. 1974 had Yes on February 9th, a 3-artist bill of Chicago, Leonard Skinner and Madura on March 17th, Grand Funk on March 30th, plus Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young and the band on August 23rd. 1975 had the Doobie Brothers and Baker Goovit's Army's No Filler Rock and Roll on April 5th. There was also a 4-artist bill on May 31st with Seals and Crofts, Linda Ronstadt, and the Eagles. Eric Clapton played the blues on June 14th, and Santana paid a visit on August 5th, promoting Borboleta. 1976 began with Yes coming back with their solo album tour plus Relay Your Magic on June 26th. A 4th of July special had 3 bands rocking it out in Tampa, with Hotel California the Eagles headlining the event. Jethro Tull, Robin Trower, and southern rock band Point Blank were next on July 31st. This brings us to 1977 with just 2 shows that year. In the same way as Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd came back for the first time since 1973 with their Animals tour on April 24th, just as Led Zeppelin was 1 day away from their Louisville, Kentucky show. As you would expect, Pink Floyd's gig was a financial success with low precipitation levels. There was no rain in spring.
In Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers also have a good defense, but their offense has mysteriously died, and they haven't scored a point in regular season play. An official investigation has failed to turn up any clues, but last Sunday, the Buccaneers certainly had a case against the San Diego Chargers.
Led Zeppelin's June 3rd show had a rule that later came back to haunt them. Like their 1973 date, the 1977 tickets stated rain or shine. The band usually included a clause that gave them the power to postpone a show over bad weather conditions. Tampa was an exception. How the Zepp camp agreed to an open-air show in June in Florida is quite the optimistic gamble, but it follows the nature of strange management decisions this tour is known for. Rain or shine meant they had to play no matter what. Let's talk about the weather for Tampa in June 1977. Heavy rains were expected for June 4th, 16th, and the 29th. Friday, June 3rd had drizzle from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m., and there was a thunderstorm the day before around 5 p.m. By Wednesday, June 1st, some 65,000 tickets had been sold. Tampa Stadium opened its gates on Friday at 11:30 a.m. 70,000 fans slowly filled the venue, and all they could do was wait. The stage was similar to the one used by Pink Floyd back in April, but this one had a 3-story sound system, plus a stripes canvas that looks quite similar to the one we can see on Led Zeppelin's show at Kezar Stadium 1973. The band's iconic mirror ball hung from a crane, and the gear was ready. Wardrobe choices were the same as the previous shows in Louisiana on May 19th, Houston on May 21st, Fort Worth May 22nd, as well as Capitol Center May 25th and May 30th. It's worth mentioning a nowadays famous promotional shot taken backstage at Tampa, with all 4 bandmates posing in front of a blackboard. Robert was still wearing his offstage clothing and probably got dressed just before showtime. The stage roof was soaking wet by the time the band was ready to rock and roll. It was a dangerous sight. Setlist wise, it's possible they would have played the same songs from their May 31st show at Greensboro. The show began at 8 p.m. and the first thunderstorm happened around 8:26 p.m., with another one at 9 p.m. Climate conditions forced people to take cover in the venue's walkways. Others were not so lucky and remained in their seats, hoping lightning didn't strike the stadium. So let's go back to Friday, June 3rd, 1977, the day when the United States and Cuba began diplomatic talks for the first time since 1961. It was also the day when Bob Marley and the Wailers released their 9th studio album, Exodus. Concerts for June 3rd included Fleetwood Mac in Memphis, Billy Joel's second of 3 shows at Carnegie Hall, Cheap Trick at the Whiskey, and Little Feat at Winterland Arena. Also hitting music stores in America was Peter Frampton's infamous follow-up to Comes Alive, his 5th studio album, I'm in You, featuring Bob Mayo on keyboards. Fun fact, Bob Mayo was a member of Robert Plant's solo band on his 1983 tour. Led Zeppelin's 1975 tour photographer Neil Preston was responsible for capturing Peter Frampton's pose. Fleetwood Mac's Rumors was on its 2nd of 8 weeks at number 1 on Billboard's 200 list. Top 3 hit singles on the charts for the week of June 3rd were Stevie Wonder's Sir Duke, Casey and the Sunshine's I'm Your Boogeyman, and Fleetwood Mac's Dreams. And of course, Star Wars was the number 1 hit at the box office. Enjoy this show.
Tampa region again. It's been about 4 years, right? So I guess the best thing we can do is there's less talking and there's more music, the better, right? There seems to be some water falling on the electrical equipment. So we're going to give it a 15-minute break. Are you cool? A 15-minute break. We're going to try it. No hours enough otherwise. So bear with us, okay?
We started with Song Remains the Same and went into Sick Again. And during that I could feel the sort of drizzle coming on me. And it was soaking the double neck guitar. And by the time we were doing Nobody's Fault But Mine, it was just really pouring down. But the trouble was the wind was blowing our way. And there was this gigantic tarpaulin above us, which was just bowing inwards with the pressure of rain which had built up. There were so many possibilities of, real electrical disasters. We didn't really want to sort of just carry on the risk, so we asked for sort of 15 minutes grace. Try and sort of rectify the situation. However, we stayed there for pretty much 30 minutes in the dressing room. And then the people that sort of put the stage together, Showco, said it's going to take at least an hour.
It was a night in June when they told them they should go. Led Zeppelin left Tampa Stadium around 9 p.m. Their staff told the locals they had to leave in order to come back the next night. Stadium personnel freaked out as they knew a riot would occur. The hurried exit had Jumble Jones and his family riding a separate vehicle than his bandmates. Because they were in close proximity, driving away from the stadium was easy, but Zeppelin Caesar's chariot had to wait for Jones to arrive, while hundreds of crazy fans were already at the airport. 2 U.S. Air Force jets took off to ensure clouds were safe to travel. A signal was given and the band left Tampa with a pocket full of gold. Peter Grant collected. The money was safe in his hands. Led Zeppelin flew back to their Miami Beach hotel to spend the night and enjoy a 3-day vacation before playing their first of 6 shows at Madison Square Garden on June 7th. Back at Tampa Stadium, things escalated into violence when the PA system made a dreadful announcement at 9:15 p.m. The band had left the building and fans were told to come back Saturday night, but nobody knew still that rescheduling was off the table. While most complied, others remained at the stadium. By 10 p.m., police had to call reinforcements to secure the stage as roadies packed the band's gear to leave as soon as possible. A nasty riot erupted, flying bottles and whatever objects were around. Fights exploded. The police had to use the dark side of the force against rowdy fans. People shouted. Desperate chants for the music of Led Zeppelin were useless. Even the ones who didn't want a confrontation were trapped in the crowd and experienced the punches firsthand. The war was over around midnight, with a sight that looked like Woodstock on Monday morning. Local authorities discussed the possibility of rescheduling the show during the weekend. Peter Grant published a statement on Tampa's newspaper blaming the promoters for the show. Now guess who helped Peter Grant out to get this thing printed? None other than Elvis's manager, Tom Parker, who got an urgent call to make it happen. A Sunday morning article reported 100 fans injured at the show. More than a dozen police officers were treated for concussions, broken hands, ankles, cut lips, dislocated shoulders. It was a battlefield. Past Mayor William Poe's announcement on Monday of no more Led Zeppelin shows in Tampa, there was still a long way to go in order to provide Concert West refunds to people who kept their ticket stubs. the promoters released a full-page ad apologizing to Led Zeppelin for the rainy evening at Tampa Stadium. Quote, "You did everything that you could and wanted to do so much more. You are the best and deserve the best, not the worst treatment." Concerts West decided to take the heat and not disturb their golden goose. A money-making machine like Led Zeppelin won't be blamed for a thunderstorm. Refunds were greenlighted on June 16, 1977, just 2 days after Led Zeppelin played their final show in New York City. Local Tampa Sports Authority and the state's attorney oversaw the refund operation run smooth. For fans returning 4 or less tickets, they just had to mail these and wait. 5 or more tickets required a notarized document with proof of ownership. Some $700,000 in the hands of the promoter were set aside in a local bank account to handle the payments made by the stadium staff themselves. Now, Concerts West still had to address the problem of Tampa Stadium, requesting a $100,000 bond to recover rental fees, as if Led Zeppelin played the actual show in full. My personal take here is that because so many fans lost their ticket stubs and wouldn't be asking for refunds, the promoters could pay the rental fee bond from the refund money. If you think being a rock star is hard, try 70s concert promoting business. It was a dangerous bet, and things didn't get worked out in the HR office, but the streets, courtrooms, or places nobody saw nor remembers. This incident really puts in perspective some of the problems Zeppelin would have dealt with had their US concert career continued past 1977. The terms and conditions were getting trickier, and the venues were getting bigger. There's only so many legal battles that you can fix with a phone call before money turns into blood. There were no more shows at Tampa Stadium for the remainder of the decade, until the Eagles came back on January 26, 1980. Led Zeppelin's only other outdoor dates for 1977 were to take place 1 month and 20 days later with 2 shows at Oakland Coliseum, and it seems open-air concerts were nothing but bad news for the band. This was the making of Tampa 1977. I want to personally thank the executive producers for this channel, my dear patrons who support this rock and roll operation on a monthly basis. You guys are the best and you make this happen. I also want to thank my PayPal donators because you also keep the operation afloat. Thank you very much. If you wish to fund my research facility, remember you can join my Patreon page as well as contributing via PayPal. Remember to please hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next concert destination. Rain or shine, the best weather is rock and roll. Bye bye.